All right. My webcam isn't working, but that's okay. That's not the most important thing we need. Just the audio and the iPad. So, sorry for that minor delay. My computer literally blue screened and just completely crashed. The microphone was literally picking up nothing, but it's working now. And that's what matters, because I want you guys to succeed. So, with that being said, I have the live chat up. So, I kind of already did the first problem, just hoping that you guys were able to see just kind of the basic idea of what each of these problems are going to be. Your questions on your test are going to look almost exactly like these in terms of the structure. You're going to have one solid given to you. You're going to need to find the surface area, lateral area, and volume. What's up, AJ? And yeah, you're just going to do that. So one question like number 1 could easily be worth 9 points because it's a lot of moving parts. Kind of wish the webcam was working though. You guys could see how tired I looked, or I do look right now. Oh well, that is life. So, with that being said, I hope that you're all hopefully going to get enough sleep tonight. I realize I'm starting later than usual. Oh, there's the webcam. It works now. Number 11, sure. I don't think I'm going to do the whole review, Eob, just because it's already late. But what I will do for you guys is I will take my solutions guide from last year. I'll print it out as a PDF and I'll upload it to my website. But I'll do that after the live stream. Let's take a look here. Yeah, Cyan, you want to do number 11? We'll go ahead and do that. No problem. Oh, okay. There we go. No. It flipped it. That's so weird. I don't know why I went... Whatever. Webcams are dumb. All right, so we're going to take a look at number 11. Yeah, none of us are ever going to get enough sleep, Eob. Like, ever. All right. Yeah. So, Cyan, number 11, we're looking at this weird shape. It's some sort of a rectangular prism. However, we have those two half circles that are cut out. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to, just like before on the one cylinders that were attached to the prism, we want to think of those as one giant cylinder removed from the prism. So right here, I'm going to find the volume. So the volume of my prism, this is what happens when you don't bring your stylus from work, y'all. You get weird handwriting. So my prism here has a base length of 10, a width of 8, and a height of 3. So my volume there is just going to be 10 times 8 times 3. Oh, I know why. This isn't the stylus my friend gave me. This was just a random one I found. Oh, well. So this is going to give us 240. Now for our cylinder, remember that that's pi r squared h. So for this cylinder, my radius, remember, is going to go from the center to the edge. Well, here's my center. Here's an edge. That doesn't help me much. However, if I look at it this way, then I see, oh, well, that's going to give me a radius of 4. And the height of it is going to be that 3 since it goes up and down. So we can say here that the height is 3. Pi times 4 squared times 3. So that's 16 times 3, which is 48, and then the pi. Now, finding the volume, since we wanted an exact form, you're going to do 240 minus 48 pi. Since this answer has a pi in it, and this one does not have a pi in it, we can't actually subtract the two. So you're just going to put your units on. Since there are no units written on here, we're going to write in the word units. Come on, iPad. There we go. Units cubed. So there you have it. Number 13, sure. Let's take a look at that one. So the volume of a sphere is this 1372 over 3 pi. Well, I'm going to need to set the volume equation equal to that. Okay, really, Eob, stop getting greedy. So I'm going to say 1372 over 3 equals, oh, don't forget the pi, equals 4 pi r cubed over 3. We're going to work backwards to solve for the radius. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. So I'm going to have 1372 pi equals 4 pi r cubed. Now I'm going to divide out the 4 pi from both sides. Boom, boom. So now 4 goes into 1372. Well, let's see here. 4 goes into 13 3 times. There's a leftover of 1. 4 goes into 17 4 times with the leftover of 1. 4 goes into 12 3 times. All right. Now here, r cubed is equal to 343. So this is where we have to take the cube root of both sides. So my radius is going to equal the cube root of 343, which is 7. Now, since we're looking for surface area, now we just plug in our radius into the surface area. Surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared, which is just going to be 4 pi times 7 squared. So that's 196 pi, and then let's see here, feet squared. So there's your first one, Eob. That was your number 13. We'll take a look at 14. So 14, Eob, you just have to know what things are. Okay, so similarity ratios, you have to remember, are your A to B. Your area ratios are A squared to B squared. Your volume ratios are A cubed to B cubed. So all you're going to do is take the similarity ratio of 5 to 7, and to find your area, you're going to say that it's 5 squared to 7 squared. So that should get you 25 to, thinking ahead here, 49. Your volume is going to be 5 cubed to 7 cubed. So that's going to get you 125 to 343. Now, Eob, I'm only going to do number 15 because you are going to do, almost essentially the exact same thing for 15 with 16. The only difference is you're given a different part of the figure first. Right, so two similar pyramids have the volumes of 64 and 1,000. So right away, volume, you need to think to yourself, okay, what does my volume need to look like? You're thinking, oh, this is A cubed, B cubed. Volume is written in cubic units, so it should be cubed for your variables. Now, I can, for this one, take the cube root of 64 and the cube root of 1,000 because those are both perfect cubes. I'm going to get 4 to 10. Well, one thing I've always told you all is to always reduce your ratios whenever you can. So right here, I'm going to divide this by 2, and so you're going to get 2 to 5. This ratio right here, Eob, because I reduced it down, this is my similarity ratio. So your goal is to always start finding the similarity ratio. You're then going to read the rest of the problem and see that they're saying, oh, the surface area. Well, the key word you're looking for is area, so that means you need the area ratio. Well, your area ratio is A squared B squared. So your area is going to be 2 squared to 5 squared. So you're going to have 4 to 25. Now, what do you do with these numbers is the question. Well, because we're told that the surface area of the smaller pyramid has a certain value, we're going to create a proportion to help us find the other missing value. So I told you guys that you should make these numbers your denominator for your proportion. The one that you have no idea about, since we're solving for the larger one, that variable goes over the larger number of the fraction. On the left side, we get the 1/12. Now, I'm not going to do the rest of this because, you know, as much as I enjoy doing this all in my head, this is your work. You cross multiply, you solve this, okay? But at this point, this should be child's games. This should be like super easy for you, okay? You're essentially going to do this whole process for the last question for 16. You're just going to change what you do in steps 1 and 2 because you're not given volume at first. That's literally the only difference. All right, we're going to take a quick look at number 2. All right, lateral area, surface area, and volume. So right away, identify your base. In this case, you could say basis if you wanted, that's okay. I can move the 12 down here, including that right angle that I see right there. You could move the 15 up if you want. I'm going to move it down just because base is on the bottom. It really doesn't matter, right? So what we're going to do is, in order to find my lateral area, which I'm going to write the formula out, lateral area equals the perimeter of the base times the height. Well, all right, let's count all the way around. We have a problem. We don't have all 3 sides of that triangle. And don't you dare even think about using that 14 for the perimeter. We don't know how long this is. Well, it's a right triangle, so it's literally screaming Pythagorean theorem. X squared plus 12 squared equals 15 squared. Now, you can do all the work, but I know for a fact that this is going to get me 9. So my perimeter is going to be 9 plus 12 plus 15. So I believe that's 33. Right? 15 plus 12 is 27. 27, no, that should be 36. 36. See, this is why I don't like doing math late at night when I'm tired. All right, so now we're going to take that 36, plug it in for the perimeter. The height, remember, is always the distance between your bases. And in this case, we have 14. And yes, Natalia, we will get to number 5. So 36 times 14. I'm going to let you guys do that while I set up the next part, just because I don't want to keep switching back and forth right here, with my calculator. Zamora, I'm glad you were able to join on. Yeah, I had computer issues, so I finally got them fixed. The microphone wasn't working. My computer literally blue screened. I was just like, ugh. I was ready to cry. Okay, so surface area is lateral area plus the area of two of our bases. So to find the area of my base, I need to know what shape my base is. Well, my base is a triangle. The area of a triangle is 1/2 little b times little h, the height of the shape, not the height of the solid. There's a huge difference between those two. Okay, so the height of my base and the base of my base, that sounds weird to say, but right, if you're only looking at the triangle, remember that in a right triangle, we want the legs. Those legs are going to be your base and height. So 1/2 base times height, 1/2 of 9 times 12. I can't write. And no one has gotten me the answer for this lateral area, and I'm going to be very mad if I don't get one coming up, because then you guys aren't helping me. 9 times 12 is 108. 108 divided by 2 is 54. All right, so we're going to substitute 54 in for capital B. Thank you, 504. Just on time, too. So then now we have 504 plus 108, 612. What are my units? Inches squared. Oh yeah, speaking of which, let's make sure that we establish this. Okay, you're going to do lateral area and surface area. Both of those are going to get you units squared. Right, your units have to be squared for both of those. When you get to volume, don't accidentally write squared, because remember, those units are going to be cubed now. All right, so volume for a prism, base area times height. I also noticed that a lot of people were struggling with knowing whether to use a prism formula versus a pyramid. What you got to remember is that a prism has two bases. A pyramid has only one. In this case, yes, I do have two triangles. Those are my bases. There's not like a vertex. There's not a point where they're all meeting up at. So base area times the height. Well, look, I already know the base area because we made that calculation earlier. So 54, and then my height of 14. Again, I'm not going to touch that. I'll let you guys do that volume for me. But that's how we calculate the volume of this triangular prism. So let's see here. Natalia needs number 5. We will definitely jump right to that. Before we do, I do need to blow my nose because I'm literally completely congested here. Hold on. Ugh. Barely made it, but I'm alive. We're going to jump to number 5 now, per Natalia's request. Let's see here. All right. So, Natalia, we've got ourselves a nice little pyramid here. Now, what we got to be careful for here is we do have a triangle as our base, but what we don't want to do is we don't want to accidentally say, oh, this is a right triangle, or this is a different kind of triangle where it's going to get too easy, right? I don't ever make things easy for you guys like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of flip that triangle upside down and relabel my sides. So my 6 that was on the top side there is now on the bottom. The 5 is on the top, both on the left and right side. So this is telling you that you have an isosceles triangle. Well, remember that whenever we have an isosceles triangle, we always want to draw our altitude going this way, because it's going to split this left and right side into 2 equal pieces. And so I'm going to want to solve for the height. Well, again, what kind of a triangle do we got? We got a right triangle that we can do the Pythagorean theorem on, which, again, if you have kind of picked up on this, another Pythagorean triple. So my height for that triangle is going to be 4. Now, don't confuse that height for the height of the solid. The solid still has its own height when it comes to the equations for volume. What we want to make sure we understand is that this base area, right, the area of a triangle, is 1/2 of this base here, which is 6, times the height, which we've just calculated as 4. All right, now one more thing, just because we've been doing it forever, we should find our perimeter. That's not the perimeter. There we go. We got to find the perimeter of our base, which is going to be 5 plus 5 plus 6, which will give us 16. So let's jump right to it. Lateral area. It is a pyramid, so it's 1/2 perimeter times the slant height. So 1/2 of 16 times the slant height of 9. So 1/2 of 16 is 8. 9 times 8 is 72. What are my units? Don't have them, so we write them as units squared. Surface area, that's going to be lateral area plus there's only one base on a pyramid. So that's going to be 72 plus the 12 we calculated. Lastly, we have our volume, which in a pyramid is 1/3 base area times the height. So that's going to be 1/3 of 12. And then our height is 8. Remember, it's the height of the solid. So let's see here. 3 goes into 12 4 times. 4 times 8 is 32. There we go. Nope, I made a mistake. We need to make our units cubed. Yeah, don't mess that up, y'all. You're welcome, child. Okay. Ariana, you won number 10. We will jump right to that. Okay. So, Ariana, you have two choices. Technically three. You have all the choices, but what I want you to think about is, do you want to break this shape up into smaller pieces? Or do you want to look at it as one original shape and then we cut out the other rectangle? I know there will be like a 10-second delay before you even hear this, so I'll wait a bit for you to tell me what you want to do. You can say pieces, we'll cut them into smaller slices, or you can say whole, and we'll look at the whole thing minus a slice. I am extremely exhausted. Yes, Priscilla, we can take a look at number 8 for sure. Maybe Ariana doesn't know what she wants to do? Question mark. Ha! I'll do what I want, Rivers. I'm going to break this up into little pieces since Ariana has not spoken up. So I'm going to slice it down this way. So what I'm going to take into account is that this 4 is the same length here, here, and here. So if this is 4 and my total length was 13, then that means this missing slice here is 9. Well, I believe we're finding the volume. So now I recognize that these are rectangular prisms, and that just means I'm going to multiply all 3 segments of my prism. It's okay, dear. I figured you were behind, but I didn't think it was that bad. Or maybe I'm impatient, I don't know. So anyway, so that length is 15 as well. So for my right prism, for this one here, this volume is going to equal 4 times 15 times 10. So that should be 600. Now for this, let's use a different color. For this one here, this volume is going to be 3 times 15 times 9. Now, quick mental maths, trying to do this without hurting my brain. 15 times 3 is 45. 45 times 10 would have been 450, but we're taking away one of those 45s. Wait, what did I say? 450 minus 45, 450. So 405. Okay, so now at this point, you're just going to add those two values together. So you're going to have 1,005 units cubed. All right, let's take a look at number 8. Ariana, I hope I was able to answer your question. All right, yeah, number 8. So Priscilla, we have 2 shapes involved here. At first, you might say, hey, this is a sphere. To which I say you're halfway correct. It's technically a hemisphere. It's half of a sphere. So half a sphere, and then right here we have our cylinder. And it says find the surface area and the volume. So there's going to be a bit of kind of squeezing our work. I'm going to go ahead and move this a bit closer to here. Before I continue though, I do want to do some quick math. This radius of 4 transfers up here, which means it's also the radius of your sphere. So let's get right to it. One other thing. Because we're looking at the surface of a composite solid, I want to take into account that I'm covering up this space here. So when I do my surface area for my cylinder, instead of saying plus 2 times my base, it's only one of the bases. And I'll kind of show you how I separate it. It just might not be pretty on here because I don't have a good stylus, but we'll do the best we can. So surface area, right, that's our first category, and then I'll divide it up in a bit. So for my half sphere, remember surface area is going to be 4 pi r squared. So that's going to be 4 pi, and let me write it down a bit further. So 4 pi times 4 squared. So that's 64 pi. But this half, we got to take half of 64 to get 32. Now on your cylinder, again, we have our lateral area, which is going to be 2 pi r times the height. So that's 2 pi times 4. What is my height? 10. So then 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 10 is 80. So 80 pi. This is my lateral area, and I want to add to it one of my bases. And actually, let's just write base. So for my base, we're going to say that it's a circle, so I'm just going to do pi r squared. So for my total surface area, we're adding the 32 pi, the 80 pi, and the 16 pi. So 32 plus 16 I know is 48. 48 plus 80 is 128 pi. And then I think I have units on these. Yep, meters. So that's going to be meters squared. Now, for my volume, it's a little easier because I don't have to worry about parts that are covered. I just have to worry about the sphere that's cut in half. That's literally the only thing. So for this part, for my half sphere, again, same thing, we're looking at the volume. So the volume of one sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed, or 4 pi r cubed to the third, or divided by 3. So then 4 pi, 4 cubed, all over 3. Oh man. 4, 16, 64, 256. So 256 pi over 3. But now this is the part where things can get confusing if you're not good with your fractions. When you're taking half of a fraction, it's the same thing as multiplying it by 1/2. Right? Half of a number is the same, is literally 1/2 times the thing. that's also equivalent to saying, hey, I'm going to divide this by 2. Let's skip the dividing fractions part, just go straight to multiplying. So I can reduce the 2 and the 256. So that's 128 pi over 3. That's my volume of my sphere. Now we got to find the volume of the cylinder. So that's your pi r squared h. So, nope, wrong number. Pi 4 squared times 10. So that's going to give you 160 pi. Now, you're adding an improper fraction to a non-improper fraction or a whole number. So when you add those two, you need a common denominator. So if I write this out as 160 pi plus 128 over 3 pi, right? I need to essentially multiply this 160 by 3 over 3. So that's the same thing as 480. So it's going to say 480 pi over 3 plus 128 pi over 3. So 480 plus 128, that's 608 pi over 3. And then our units of meters cubed. And there you have it. Is it a lot of work? Yes, it is, especially since that's a half sphere. If it's something nicer like a cone, then it's not as bad. Kind of like what you guys had on your quiz. So River, yes, I will help you out with number 7. You're welcome, Priscilla. Oh, man. Yeah. Okay. Number 7. Find the surface area and volume of our figure. So for surface area, remember that for a pyramid, we are going to need the slant height, which if I draw it right here, that will help me visualize a right triangle inside of the shape. So taking this length of 6 down here, I can move it up here. And so that gives me a 3 there. I think this is a Pythagorean theorem. 3 squared plus 4 squared equals slant height squared. That's going to get you your 5. Another thing to note is in this one again, you have that face that's covered. So in terms of what you guys can visibly see, you can only see on the top part the lateral area. On the bottom part, you can see the lateral area, but there's only one base that's visible. So we're going to add all 3 parts of those to get our total surface area. Microsoft is being weird. Maybe that's a sign. This will probably be the last one we do then because it is kind of late. Oh my gosh, yeah, it is. What I will do after this, like I promised, I'll upload my solutions guide. I'll put it up on my website. It won't be up instantly. You have to give me like probably 10 minutes for me to upload it to all the classes, but it'll be up there. Okay. Let's see here. That's a 5. Oh, we should probably find our perimeter and our base area since we're already here. The perimeter is just 6 times 4. So that's 24. Our base is a square. So we're going to be doing 6 times 6, which is 36. All right, pyramid. So that's going to be our 1/2 perimeter times the slant height. So that's 1/2 of 24 times 5. So that's going to get us 60. Now I'm not adding any base to this. I'm not doing plus b because that base of the pyramid is covered. So now we're just going to move on to the prism. For the prism, we have our lateral area, which is the perimeter times the height. So that's again 24. What was the height of our prism? 6. So then that's 144. And then of course we have one base at the bottom. So my surface area is going to equal 60 plus 144 plus 36. So 36 plus 44, that gets me 80. So 180 plus 60, 240. Then my units, I don't have any written, so I write in units squared. Now, the fun part is the volume, which is not going to be difficult since most of our stuff was given to us. Remember that the volume of a pyramid is 1/3 base area times the height. So that's going to be 1/3 of 36 times our height, which I think was 4. Yep, 4. Okay. So 12, 24, 36. So 1/3 of 36 is 12. 12 times 4 is 48. Now looking at our prism, the volume is our base area times the height. So that's going to be 36 times, and now don't confuse this with the height of the pyramid. Make sure you're looking at the right shape. In this case, it's the height of the prism of 6. So 6, 36, 216. So that means for this, my total volume is going to be me adding those two together. So 8 and 6 is 14. Carry the 1, that's 5, plus 1 is 6. So 264, and then don't forget units cubed. All right, that's number 7. Hopefully that was of help to you, River. Oh man, I'm really out of it. Really out of it. Hopefully I don't make my computer crash right now, because I'm going to open OneNote. This review is the same as last year's, so I'm going to go ahead and, what's it called? Make it a PDF, and then I will upload it to my website so that you all have access to it. Okay, don't tell me my computer is going to be weird as well. Oh, I have a bad feeling about this. Wait, I think I have it. We shall see. I'll let you guys know if it doesn't work. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I wish you all the best with studying. I believe in you all. You're all great kids. Keep up your hard work. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night.